So what we're going to be talking about is the perception of value. And by that, we mean little things that you can do when you're in front of your customer, your potential customer, or your referral partner that lets them know you are separate from your competition and there is more value in hiring you than there is the next person they talk to or the person they talked to before. One of the best examples I can use as far as perception value that isn't in our industry is bartending. So if you go to a bar and they're building your drink, they take the alcohol of your choice, they take the bottle, and you'll see them do this really long pour over the glass. Now, the count is what establishes how much alcohol is in that drink. So it's the same 1.5 ounces of alcohol, but because they did this, it looks like the bartender hooked you up. That's perception of value. And that's what we're going to be talking about, is how in a very short amount of time with your potential client or your potential partner that you can make that impression and actually engage them. And believe it or not, creating a perception of value starts before you even get close to the front door. The first way you can create a perception of value is if you call the client before you're on your way to the property, whether you're going to be early, on time, or late. Especially if you're going to be late, you need to call them or text them and say, hey, I'm going to show up on time and this is when I'm going to be there. And what that does is it shows them that your meeting is important and their time is important to you as well. Now, if you're going to be late, that is very important to call the client when you know you're going to be late and let them know about how much time you're going to be late. Why is that important? Because one, it shows your professionalism, and two, it also tells them that if there is a problem with your company at all, it's going to be relayed to them. Universally, most clients want to know if there's a problem and what the solution is. So that is your first instance, if you're running late, that you can show them, hey, I'm running late. Traffic, whatever the reason is, you don't even have to give a reason. I'm running late. I'm going to be there 10 minutes after we said, and that will show them that you care enough about their time and you care enough to communicate the problem to them. The next simple way to show perception of value is to always be branded. If you're wearing a hat, if you're wearing one of the shirts or one of the jackets or anything like that, have the logo on your body somewhere, because you would be surprised how many sales guys show up to appointments that are your competition and they have no branding on them whatsoever. One of the reasons why that's important is because it shows that you care about the company that you work for and you stand behind the work that you do. The next easy step you can do to show perception of value is the company will provide you a traffic safety cone to keep in your truck. So when you roll up to the property, take that traffic safety cone and put it 3 feet away from the bumper of your truck. So that way, if the homeowner is watching, you can show them that you care about safety. Now, they may not see it at first, but I do have a way that you can call their attention to it when you get to their door. Another element to our perception of value that we provide here is a small tool pouch where you can keep your chalk, you can keep your measuring tape, you can keep your shingle gauge and your pitch gauge. And I suggest clipping those shingle gauge and the pitch gauge to the pouch so that way it literally jingles as you're walking up to the house. The reason why this is important is because some people perceive things differently. Some people are more audio based, some people are more visually based, and everything that I'm giving you in this video basically touches on all of these aspects. So that way, depending on what kind of client you have, you've touched on a way that they perceive that value. So as you're coming up to the front door, as you're walking around the property, as you're climbing the ladder, you have this tool pouch that is jingling constantly, and it speaks to those clients who are more audibly based. It's almost like you're John Wayne walking into a gunfight during a Western. Having that tool pouch on you, 1, shows that you're ready to work. 2, shows that you have the tools with you to be able to make an accurate assessment. And 3, shows that you know what you are talking about. Okay, so you've knocked on the door. The client is now in front of you for the very first time. Take your business card, make sure you put it in their hand immediately. And when you do that, tell them my mobile number is on this card and texting on that card is okay. The reason why that's important is because it tells them you are willing to be reached at any time in any manner. Now, once they've accepted your business card, this is what I do.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, I'm Ben with Integrity Pro Roofing. Thanks for having me out. Thanks for coming out. Is it okay that I parked over there? I don't want to take up anybody's spot. See what I did there? In one sentence, I just showed them that I care about their property and I called attention to the traffic cone behind my truck. Now, if the property owner invites you into the property, especially if it's residential, if they invite you into their home, there are ways you can engage them almost immediately and show them how much you care about their property. As soon as you step into the door, offer to take your shoes off because that will show that you, again, care about their home. If you do get inside the property, that is your best opportunity to create what I call IEC. Impress, engage, connect. Now, most instances where people ask you to come into their property, it's because they have a leak. Take a look around their home or their property and try to note anything that you could possibly bring up as a conversation starter. Here are some examples of that, especially if you're working in residential. Wow, that is a lot of lighthouses. What is it about lighthouses that you like so much? Well, that's an interesting painting. What made you buy that? If you see anything on the television, that's an easy one. Oh, what show is that? Oh, okay, I haven't heard of that before. Is that pretty good? What other ones do you like? I like this one. So remember, this is how you can engage your client without even talking about roofing yet. If you see sports paraphernalia in the property, don't bring it up unless you are specifically a fan of that team. That can be a great way to have connectivity with a potential client. But if you bring up that you're a fan of a team they don't like, I guarantee you, as stupid as it sounds, that will kill a sale quicker than anything. On that note, do not talk politics, do not talk religion. That's going to kill your sale. Engagement is all about asking questions. So even if your property owner doesn't ask you inside the property, at the door you can ask them, how long have you owned the home? You can ask them the last time they remember a storm coming through, anything like that. And I guarantee you they're going to tell you their whole story about why they wanted to buy the house when now you have them engaged with you. Now, connecting with a property owner is basically any way that you can show them you relate to them. So if you have asked them questions, you've asked them about the interior, or you've asked them about their history with the home, bring up something that's from your own life that is actually true. I don't condone actually making up stories just to make a sale. But if it's actually true, share your story with them so that way you can show you relate to them as a property owner. Now, let's say after you've gotten inside the property, you've taken a look at a potential leak and what makes them think that they have a leak, and you're about to walk out the door, or if you weren't invited into the property and you're about to turn around, before you turn your back on the client and you're headed back to your truck to get whatever you need to do to get on the roof, make sure you tell them how long you think you're going to be. You'll come find them when you're done. And 3, as soon as you've done that, I like to tell them specifically, I will be out of your hair at that point. The reason why I like using that phrase specifically is because 1, it acknowledges to your client that this whole process is an inconvenience to them, but it still shows that you care about their time. So once you've accomplished all the reasons why you're there at the property, make sure that you show photos on your phone to the client so that way they know that they don't have to take your word for it. You actually want to show them proof. A lot of salesmen from the competition are also doing that, but some of them don't. So you can at least eliminate some of those other people who came to the property just on that measure. Also, let them know that you're going to have a full report sent to them. It's going to include all the photos that you took, and it's very comprehensive, and make sure you say that. It's a very comprehensive report, and you will know exactly what's going on and how much it's going to cost. The estimates we provide through SumoQuote are actually very comprehensive, and they're very well designed, and those will actually help add to the perception of value that we're trying to achieve. The last thing I'd like you to do is before you walk away from the property, tell them how long you're going to be getting their report to them. And it should usually be 48 hours. Now, this is important. If something happens that you cannot get that report to them within 48 hours, then please reach out to the client and let them know what the new expectation is going to be. Hey, I'm sorry for the delay on that estimate. It took me a little longer to look a couple of things up. I'm sure you're going to have it before the weekend. I will text you when I've sent it. 1, it shows again that you care about their time. 2, it also shows that you're willing to communicate when there's a problem. So remember, IEC, impress, engage, and connect. And in a very short amount of time, you should be able to separate yourself from anybody else they call out to get numbers on the job that you are hoping to close.